The idea that led to the cities and towns we live in today began long ago when people decided the most efficient and effective way to provide basic services was to pool their resources by forming a municipal government. Colorado's municipal story began with the incorporated mining camps of Black Hawk and Central City, and now encompasses 271 municipal governments. The Colorado Municipal League is the statewide nonpartisan nonprofit association of these cities and towns. CML provides an annual snapshot of these municipalities in our State of Our Cities and Towns report. The 2013 report shows slow improvement in municipal revenue, continued challenges to properly maintain infrastructure, and a strong commitment by cities and towns to improve their local economy and provide quality services to residents. The most visible and most vital service provided by most municipalities is public safety. Recent events have brought home the importance of our police, firefighters, and emergency personnel. A dramatic example is last summer's Waldo Canyon fire that forced the evacuation of 40,000 residents in Colorado Springs, Woodland Park, Green Mountain Falls, and surrounding areas. Colorado Springs City Council President Pro Tem Jan Martin said city first responders were ready when disaster struck.
Colorado Springs has an Office of Emergency Management, and actually on an annual basis we have exercises where neighborhoods are evacuated, police and fire are involved, where we really tried to provide some exercises for emergencies that could occur within the city. But the truth is, nothing could prepare you for what we experienced in the Waldo Canyon fire.
A thunderstorm packing 65-mile-per-hour winds quickly pushed a rural wildfire into a Colorado Springs residential neighborhood, setting dozens of homes ablaze.
Do you know, the fire had been going on for 5 or 6 days when the actual emergency occurred that evening. So our first responders had been out and been involved in working with the public on security issues, and our fire department was working with some of the federal agencies and the county in trying to draw fire lines. Even our utilities, which Colorado Springs owns our own utilities, their wildland fire team was directly involved in building fire lines to protect communities.
Right behind the first responders came public works personnel, communications staff. In fact, nearly every city employee responded to the emergency in a support role. City employees were there for citizens when they needed them most. Meeting those needs has been challenging in 4 years of recession-driven shrinking budgets. However, municipal revenue collections are beginning to trend upward. 47% of municipalities report a better revenue picture in 2012 than the previous year, while 31% indicate revenue at a steady level. Location is also important when looking at these numbers. 83% of large Front Range cities reported increased revenue. 54% of Western Slope cities and towns are on the upswing, while in the Eastern Plains communities, only 18% had increased revenue in 2012, and 47% report their revenue collections as flat. Better revenue figures are welcome, but fall short of what is needed to catch up in the aftermath of the Great Recession. Cities and towns face a wide range of challenges, but infrastructure needs top the list.
Infrastructure is one of the single most important pressure points on municipal budgets this year. We have significant needs in the area of roads and streets. Water and wastewater improvements are examples. We need a partnership with the state. We need a partnership with the federal government to help us with these kinds of capital improvements. There's just so much we can do with locally raised revenues, but that additional financial assistance from the state and from the federal government is extremely important. These projects create jobs, they help stimulate the economy locally, and they make our communities better places in which to live. So infrastructure is a very important component of municipal finances and the health of our cities and towns in 2013.
This means continued caution for municipal budgets. Once again, more than half of Colorado's cities and towns will decrease street maintenance funding and defer needed capital projects. 16% will maintain a hiring freeze, and 15% will cut staff positions. Cutting budgets for capital projects and deferring maintenance of infrastructure have long-term effects.
I think infrastructure is quite likely one of the most important services that we provide in local government. It's also quite likely the most invisible service that we provide. Our streets, our sewer systems, our water systems, our parks are often taken for granted by the folks that live there, but they require ongoing maintenance just like our house and just like our car does. If we slack off on that maintenance, we defer that maintenance for a given year or 2 years, quite likely then the price is going to be higher when it comes around that we have to get it done. And local governments have suffered during this recession in their ability to maintain infrastructures. And so I think it's a key area of importance and a key challenge as we move forward.
Municipal infrastructure is the foundation of our communities, and the inability to meet these needs is concerning. 59% of all cities and towns report a backlog of street projects, 24% bridge projects, 35% have put public building improvements on the shelf, while 18% have drinking water projects and 15% sewer projects that need to be completed. While increased revenue is required to solve many challenges facing cities and towns, increased efficiencies have been able to solve other challenges. One lesson learned from the Great Recession is the benefit of better cooperation among local governments. Sharing services is a growing trend. Victor and Cripple Creek have united their transit systems. Edgewater has merged its fire department with the Wheat Ridge Fire District. Windsor, Fort Collins, and the Colorado Department of Transportation shared the cost of an I-25 interchange. Water and sewer operations have been contracted privately in such communities as Peets and Kiowa.
Well, I remain positive about municipal government in Colorado. It's where things get done. It's where truly the action takes place in my perspective. And I think one of the things that I've seen in traveling around this year as a CML president and working in my area in northern Colorado is the level of cooperation between cities seems to have increased over the last several years. And I see a lot more joint projects, I see a lot more information sharing and working together. And I think that's something that our residents ought to expect, and the cities have heard that and are doing so.
Cities and towns are working hard to improve their local economies. Municipal government is the level of government most involved in economic development. 88% of all municipalities, large and small, invest in at least one economic development activity. This tremendous effort to stimulate economic health in our communities takes on all shapes and sizes. Special events is the fastest growing economic development tool, and in the past year, many special events took place on two wheels. The first ever Pedal the Plains took nearly 1,000 bicyclists on a 170-mile course through the Eastern Plains communities of Yuma, Ray, and Burlington. This highly successful regional event was only topped by an international event, the USA Pro Cycling Challenge, that wound its way through Colorado's Western Slope and Front Range. It all began in Durango.
Durango had the honor of hosting the U.S. Pro Cycling Challenge this summer, and we had over 781 million media impressions, which resulted in basically a retail value of $11 million in advertising for the city of Durango, which is a pretty significant impact. So we had to, overall, we hosted the events and had all the ancillary events and got our local businesses involved as well.
Whether it's beer festivals, rodeos, or car shows, 43% of municipalities promote local special events to boost their local economy. Beyond special events, cities and towns invest in a wide variety of programs to boost the economy. Tourism promotion, business tax incentives, grants to small business, business incubators, fee waivers, all have played a role in the large number of new or expanded businesses in Colorado. There is a long list of success stories. Gourmet Potato has retooled and expanded operations in Center. A $107 million Skyridge Medical Center expansion is complete in Lone Tree. Tax incentives have kept athletic apparel maker Pearl Izumi in Louisville and Avago Technologies in Fort Collins. Incentives brought an H-Mart Korean American market to Westminster. Lewis Nut and Bolt will add 20 to 30 jobs in expanded facilities due to help from La Junta. Crested Butte is allowing sidewalk seating for restaurants. Dacono is promoting its extreme sports venues that include auto racing and BMX bicycling. Boontown leaders meet monthly to brainstorm economic development ideas, while Thornton has formed the Business Concierge Service to help navigate new projects. Many municipalities are breathing new life into distressed commercial areas through redevelopment projects.
The state's economic recovery depends on strong main streets in Colorado. And one of the most important tools that cities and towns have to redevelop commercial areas of a community is the tool known as urban renewal. We have over 40 cities and towns in the state that have an urban renewal authority. And these authorities help to jumpstart commercial revitalization, whether it's the Belmar project in Lakewood, some of the efforts in Golden, efforts in smaller communities like La Junta, and over on the West Slope in places like Rifle. Urban renewal is the most important tool to help us revitalize our communities.
Redevelopment takes on many interesting phases as cities revitalize historic buildings, not only stimulating business downtown, but creating heritage tourism opportunities. The growing role of the arts in economic development is starting to be recognized through designation of creative districts and incentives for artists to thrive in a community. Downtown Salida and Denver's Santa Fe Arts District are the first officially recognized arts districts in the state. Keeping local dollars at home is another emphasis of economic development activities.
And we started this coupon book, and it's Be Local. And so this is local independent businesses, because studies show that 73 cents out of every dollar stays in the community when you shop at a local independent store. And these are the stores that support all of our nonprofits in the community. They're our neighbors. And one of the things I like to tell people is when they visit Durango, and you have guests that come to town, you don't sit in front of your computer and look at what's happening online, or you don't sit in front of a shopping catalog and flip through that. You take people downtown and you show them our local restaurants and you show them our local stores, because that's the flavor and the vibrancy of the community. And so by supporting all the local businesses that are in here, it's just such a great thing to do. And so even our city of Durango, we have a free parking ticket coupon in here. So if you get a parking ticket when you're in the city, you can pull that out, and that's your cost of your coupon book right there.
More efficient services, public and private cooperation, economic development efforts. These all lead to a robust business community, more jobs, stronger families, and an improved quality of life. Cities and towns are creating a better tomorrow for Colorado.